Hello YouTubers, this is Optimus Prime G1. I have a review of Transformers Prime, Powerizer Optimus Prime, which is formerly the Voyager class, which I'm not so sure it's really a Voyager. I think it's a little smaller than Voyager, but And that is not his trailer. I pulled that off a deluxe Optimus Prime from the movieverse, from Dark of the Moon. I just thought it looked pretty cool like that, so I keep it like that when I display him. But we can get rid of that now, since you see that. If you can see, his back end is actually lower. It's not actually a effective camera for being further away from the camera. It's actually lower. If it was actually up a little higher, it would actually be in perfect scale. With how a trailer would look on a tractor trailer with the front scoop for the air scoop, because that should be almost level with the trailer, unlike how they had it in the episode Convoy, where it was a little bit higher than it should have been with that. But then again, that's the norm for a lot of the Optimus Primes in the trailers. They tend to make them bigger than what they should be. But here he is with his weapons attached as they should be. I don't care for that, which is why I attached the trailer and stole the trailer from the movieverse one. So let's take those out of there. He is a little bit snubbed in the front end, but other than that, you can see some of his junk back here. You can see his, obviously, arm pieces there and some of his leg pieces as well. But other than that, he isn't that bad of a figure. I mean, we did get a better Optimus with the first edition, so with that being the case, I could see why people have issue with him, but I actually don't think he's that bad of a figure. Now, we did get a first edition which was better, so that's why everybody compares. I think if we didn't have that first edition, and we just had this one, views might be a little different, but then again, who knows, maybe they wouldn't. Okay, let's get to transforming this guy. First, you want to start by pulling these down and make them his door wings, his flying ultimate mode, as it's been called. You can go ahead and pull this down, which will release these leg pieces. You can lift up on here, which will separate his actual shoulder pieces for later on. You can pull this piece up, which actually helps you with these pieces here, because it actually pegs into here, and then it pegs back here as well. So we can pull that out and down. If it'll release on me, there we go. I forgot to squeeze in first. Squeeze in, pull down, and get those out of the way. Separate the two arms here, and this becomes a real cluster of stuff here. So what I'm doing here is I'm folding. These actually fold out from they are inside. They fold out to help make the shoulder piece a little better looking. You can fold that down like this. It actually helps with transformation a little bit if you get that out of the way by doing that. And then what you're going to do is this whole piece rotates, and you can go ahead and rotate that now and get that out of the way. Then the head will pop up. This will come here. This whole section moves up, and this whole chest piece can come in. I just didn't want to do that. There we go. Unstick that. There we go. Pull these up and out of the way. Pull the arms down for the shoulders. Hands come up. Sorry about getting too close to the camera there if I did. I'm not really watching on the camera as I'm doing this, which I should. Should be watching through the camera a little bit here. Back up a little bit here. There we go. Alright. And then the other thing you want to do is pull these out. His feet are actually under here. I'm going to just pull these around and out. And there you go. And just make sure I can never get this to lock in place. There it goes. And it's really not that bad of a figure. I mean, considering we got the first edition, it's not that bad. It's actually a pretty nice figure. We can scan up a little bit and zoom in on him. Let's zoom in on that face a little bit. Let's see how good that face is. The face is a pretty nice looking face. It's I don't know if you can really call it cartoon accurate, but it's close. It does a good job. I mean, the shoulders look really nice. The ab area, it could be a little. It's not as detailed as I'd like to see. I mean, it's got a little bit of stuff going on there, but it's not enough of stuff going on there as there should be. The big cape in back is another thing. You got this big cape back here, and these pipes don't really do anything other than stay like there, and they don't come up any higher, so they're kind of hidden back there. The first edition at least had the pipes coming in where you could see them like crossing over. They still had a big cape in the back, but at least you had pipes coming like where they should be behind Optimus's head. Zoom in a little more, and you can see that. I mean, all in all, he's not a bad figure. The worst part of this figure, in my opinion, is the stupid Powerizer gimmick. Everyone shows this off, and it's supposed to be, I think, put up here on his arm, so it can light up his arm there. It doesn't. It fails. It's a big fail in there. The only way that I can even get this to stay, I've thought about doing the customization like people have done with taking out the spring, but my kids actually like having it snap back, so for them, they do play with this. I do have it displayed too at times, which is why I have the trailer. Other times they do play with it, so for them, I'm not going to get rid of that gimmick because they enjoy that gimmick. What I found is if you get it just right sometimes, and I mean just right, you can sort of, that's the other thing, it falls out of the stupid hand all the time. If you get it just right, and it doesn't fall out of that stupid hand, you can actually have it held under the shoulder like that. And that is the best. I mean, I've got maybe a couple better positions than that. That's the best I'm probably going to get right now because I'm trying to get it. Yeah, there you go. It's a little bit lower, a little bit like he's aiming straight. But that's the best I can see getting it. The sword that comes with him isn't that bad. That is probably the best weapon is the sword. Although the sword could be better. I mean, the sword could be a lot better. Oops. Zoomed out too far. I mean, he's not a bad figure, but the weapons you get, I mean, the sword is the best weapon that it comes with, and that sword's not even that great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in his arch nemesis Megatron to do a size comparison. So you can see here, and this is the RID Megatron and RID Optimus Prime, both of them the Powerizers. Megatron's Powerizer weapon isn't bad because you can actually not use his and it still looks like his arm cannon. So it's not, his isn't as bad as Optimus's, which is pretty much unusable, really. But other than that, I mean, height-wise, about right. So it's close. So we'll take him out, and then we'll bring in another Optimus to compare. I'm going to bring him in. He's smaller, but he's actually one of my favorites. Now, why couldn't they make this guy a Voyager? I mean, is that sad that he's a Voyager, he's deluxe class, and the deluxe class's sword is bigger than... It might be the same size. Let's take a look at the actual swords here. I say it's bigger. Yeah, it actually is a slight bit bigger than the Voyager sword. See if we can see that here at all. No, you can't see that in camera too well. I'm going to hold them by the hilts as best I can. See if you can see the difference there. You can see it's not just the way I'm holding this one. There is actually a size difference there. I even scooted it up a little bit and it's still got a size difference there. The deluxe class actually has a better sword. Let's see, will that fit in that? It fits! Alright, maybe I'll keep that with him. Nah, I don't think so. I'd hate to take it away from this guy here. He's actually my favorite Optimus I have. Aside from War for Cybertron Prime. But, I mean, personally I think you got more detail on this one, which is the deluxe class, than you have on this one. But I digress. Take him out of there, and this is what we have here. I'm not going to transform him back to truck. There's many other videos out there you see him transform back to truck. So my take on this guy, my final thoughts on this guy are, he's not overly awful. I can't say he's overly awful, but you can see that even a deluxe class had more going for it as far as details. It's the details that really throw me off on this guy. I don't like the fact there's not a lot of details. I don't like the Powerizer gimmick. I could care less about that. And it doesn't stay in his hand very well. That's one of the complaints my kids have. They always peg it in the arms because that's the only way it stays. And we'll just throw this here next to him because it looks better as a brick. But really, the sword isn't great. They really need to get rid of that Powerizer gimmick and just give regular weapons. It's a gimmick that didn't really work well in the movie line. They figured, okay, well, it didn't work well because it didn't have an LED inside to light it up. No, it just wasn't a good gimmick. So my final thoughts on this guy are, if you're trying to complete your TV collection, you couldn't get the first edition, he is a decent representation of the character for now. But if you really want to complete your collection, I would say pick this guy up. I mean, unless you want to shell out the money for the first edition, I leave these clear. A lot of people have taken a Sharpie and painted them red. I leave them clear because Sharpie is just going to rub off. I do have it displayed with the trailer usually in truck mode. I usually don't have it displayed in robot mode. I usually have it in truck mode with the trailer. And when I don't have it that way, my kids are probably playing with it, and the Sharpie's just going to rub off on them. So I don't usually paint it with a Sharpie. Children were the first thing in mind. Collectors were second in mind. So they try to give it playability over collectability, is what I believe. I mean, collectors are there's an afterthought for collectors, but first and foremost, it's the playability for the kids. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. They're toys. Like I said, if you're trying to complete your collection, pick this guy up. That's my final thoughts. I give him like a, out of 10, I'd probably give him like a 5.6. Just because he has so many lack of details, and that Powerizer weapon definitely takes points off in this stupid sword. It's smaller than the deluxe class's sword. Between those two things, that's like those two things take 2 points off combined, 1 point for each. So yeah, you're down at 5.6. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching reviews, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be having more stuff on here. I'll be having more Primes, Transformer Prime stuff. And I'll be doing some G1 stuff too, so stop by and subscribe. Thanks.